Hi there. I wanted to make a video about Just Like That, which is the song that I just played, um, and talk a little bit about how we have all been feeling with regard to whether we're getting the song or not getting the song, whether ABBA are releasing it or not releasing it. First of all, just a disclaimer, that was my own transcription that I did of the song this afternoon, very, very quickly. Of course, there's no sheet music, so yes, I know it's possible that I got some notes wrong or maybe some chords I didn't quite get right, but I think the gist of the song is there. When the news broke a couple of years ago that ABBA were finally doing some new songs, the excitement, of course, was overwhelming, and we were really couldn't believe it, flabbergasted by that. And then as we got closer and more details started to emerge, it started feeling real. And I think a lot of people, a lot of ABBA fans were hoping that somehow we would get a version of Just Like That, either the old ABBA version or maybe a new one. And when it became apparent that there was going to be a new album, it seemed quite possible. People have been talking about this and nagging for years, because we've only ever heard the bootleg versions, or maybe that short snippet from Thank You for the Music, that box set from 1994, or some cover versions like the Björn Again cover version. There was a nice remix done by Matt Pop. All wonderful work, but it's never really that original ABBA version. And then the Gemini version we're familiar with as well. But of course, there are changes in terms of the melody and the structure of the song. So I think it's become apparent now that it's not going to happen. We're not going to get this version, and there's a reason for that. There was recently a video uploaded to YouTube where Benny from ABBA was talking about Just Like That and why he felt that the song wasn't to their liking or to their standard. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm not going to actually insert that video here, but I think that the understanding that I got from that, or at least the way that I understood what Benny said, was that the song really is good as a chorus and it's good as a verse, but those two don't come together into a nice cohesive song. So he felt that the verse is one song and the chorus is another song. So I've wondered about that and thought, what could that mean? And to me, when I hear the version that we've heard through the bootlegs and so on, it doesn't seem disjointed at all. But it could also be that we've become so used to hearing that verse and that chorus together, and we like what we hear, and for us it works. But of course, we also need to respect the artistic choices made by Benny and Björn and ABBA as a group. But okay, so I just briefly wanted to let my mind go about that and think analytically about the song. And so when you listen to it, you're not, or at least speaking for myself, I'm not automatically aware of the structure of the song, how it's put together, which harmonies went into it, and so forth. And it's only this afternoon when I tried to figure out which harmonies, which chords, how the melody goes, I discovered certain things. And I think there are mainly three things where I felt, yes, perhaps I understand why the song feels like two separate things. And these three things, I'm really not going to go into more detail. I don't want to make it too technical, but the three things are the melody, secondly the sort of key that the verse and the chorus are in, and thirdly the harmonic rhythm. And I'll explain these briefly. But first of all, I think the easiest one is the melody. The melody of the verse is really sort of lyrical and it has stepwise motion, so not huge leaps. It's a really sort of gentle, meandering melody. really beautiful. And sorry, I'm not the best at just playing this without sheet music. It's a very lyrical, stepwise melody. And then you get to the chorus, which is almost the opposite of that, much more percussive, much shorter notes. Okay, so that's probably the most obvious difference between the two. Then the second was harmony, the key that the song is in. So it's very apparent from this version that I transcribed that the chorus of the song is quite clearly in G major. And so it uses these chords, G, is 1, 3, 4 and 5. So those are the most sort of obvious keys, and chords and 2. That's really, really quite obvious. But when it comes to the point just before the verse starts, we have this beautiful figure that reappeared in Under Attack. And that is on a D major chord. So it's a D, which is 5 in G major, with a 7th, that's C. And you would expect that to resolve to G. But instead, it goes to a completely different chord, which is the 4th in G major, the C chord, via a very quick sort of detour in G. And then it oscillates for the most of part of the verse between the A minor chord and the D major chord. And then it lands on G, which is would be the number 1, the chord in the key of G major. It's the tonic chord, but it doesn't stay there for very long. In fact, it goes immediately into an augmented with that D sharp that gets added. So it doesn't stay on that G chord for very long, and then it also never returns to that until we get to the chorus. So in terms of the key that the chorus and the verse are in, I think it's very, very clear that the chorus is in G major. And of course the verse is in G major, but it doesn't really visit the tonic chord, the number 1 chord, very often. In fact, only that once, and it leaves immediately. And then, so that is really the crux of that, is that the verse and the chorus are tonically very distantly related. They're really not in the same mode. And then the third was the harmonic rhythm, and by that we just mean how quickly chords change. In the verse, the harmonic rhythm is quite slow, so each chord typically gets about 4 beats, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, whereas in the chorus it's much quicker, and so typically chords change after 2 beats, and sometimes they are extended a little bit to 4, but mostly it's for 2. I hope I can demonstrate that by repeating the bass note. So you will hear in the verse there's 4 beats per chord, and then in the chorus you'll hear mostly 2. There will be a few where it's slower, where there are 4, but mostly 2. So in the verse, so you hear those 4 beats, and then in the chorus, so there are 4, but then again 2. and so forth. Okay, so I don't want to spend more time on that and get too technical. This is the sort of thing that Rick Beato does very well, and obviously uses a lot better terminology. So Rick Beato, if you are watching this, which I doubt you are, but if you are, maybe you could have a look at this song and tell us what you think. So I wanted to conclude by just again sort of wrapping up how we feel about the song. To me, I really don't feel that it's disjointed, but I also think we've become used to hearing it put together as a verse and chorus that belong to the same song. Yes, I am disappointed, as I am sure a lot of you are, that we're not getting an ABBA version of this song anytime soon, if ever. I also think that it's a decision made by Benny and Björn based on their artistic integrity and the way that they feel which works are deserving of release and which ones aren't. So I also think we should respect that. And the fact of the matter is that we are getting a brand new album with a lot of new material. Who thought that this was ever going to happen? All these years they've been saying, no, it's very unlikely. They don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, I think we should be grateful, even if we're not getting our way entirely. We've had two magnificent singles, Don't Shut Me Down and I Still Have Faith in You. Another new one is being released, Just an Ocean, this Friday. And then the whole album being released early in November. So I think we have a lot of material to listen to. We've been spoiled beyond all expectation and belief. So at the end of the day, as disappointed as I am, and some of you might be, I also think we need to abide by the decision made by Benny and Björn and maybe the entire ABBA as a group. We're just glad to have them back for as long as that's going to be possible. And I mean, they've shared some of the most wonderful music with us over the years, and we're still listening to those old recordings from the 70s and the 80s, and this new stuff. So yeah, that is my little discussion about about Just Like That. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to listen to this sort of analysis, even at low level analysis. I don't think this is the direction that my channel is taking, but I felt a little bit passionate about this song. Anyway, I hope you forgive that. I hope you enjoyed that, some of you, and that you'll join me again on the channel for some music and the sort of stuff that I typically do. Thank you very much for being here and for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.